The show will begin in 5,
4,
3, 2,
1.
Thursday night CrossFit Talk with Scott Schweitzer and Jamie Latimer.
We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. We about to change the game. We out here taking names. Let our voices rise. Let them reach the skies. Hickory, dock. Giving them all that we got. Kick them the door. Try to knock, but nobody answered. I'm going hard and taking my chances. I keep it moving. I keep advancing. Keeping it gangster.
What is going on, everybody? Before we get started, my name is Scott, and I'm a CrossFit junkie.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I have watched streaming CrossFit from 9 a.m. to almost 8 p.m. That is what I think it was like 10 and a half hours straight.
Love it.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I need help.
You're good. There's worse things to do with your time.
Yeah. I should have been working today. So the state of Ohio didn't get a whole lot out of me today, but I'm going to be able to tell you everything that happened at Crucible. So Kenneth DeLapp says, Coach Krispy Kreme.
What's up?
We got to figure out that nickname. I'm not sure that's the best marketing slogan.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
So, and then we have Damien in the chat. We have Christopher Alfred in the chat. He said he did it too. So at least I'm not the lone addict. So let's open the show with Jamie. You competed today. It started with the pegboards, which you had never done before today.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't fail on any of them. And then it went into, gosh, it seems like days ago. So it was pegboard into something, ski erg, and then
search or carry.
Search or carry.
Yeah. Now it all's come back to me. It's all come back to me. Yeah. So a lot of implements that you hadn't really done a lot of before. How did you feel it went?
Good. I mean, you kind of like going in and just trying to trust your fitness and like unsure how to pace perfectly because you haven't done that the pegboard implement. Like I didn't want to blow up, and so it's just kind of figuring that out on the fly. Yeah.
Let me ask you that. Well, I'll ask you that question after we get to the next one. So you get through that. I thought you looked strong the whole way through.
Thanks.
You got a lot of play on the stream because of your CEO shirt, of course, that made them cover you quite a bit. And then you rest for a little bit and you come back to an event where you get to run and you get to do GHDs, which are strengths of yours, but then it's a flip sled that you've never really touched.
Yeah. Yep.
And so they did focus on the difference in techniques and how yours was different than some of the other competitors.
Literally everybody.
Well, no, there were other people that did it like you, but they were fewer in the crowd. So was that just the way it worked for you, or if you had some time with it, do you think you'd switch your technique?
I think I definitely would try to figure out a better. So I think when I tried it yesterday, I just assumed I didn't have enough power to like pop it up. So I just like went with that. But I do feel like with time on that implement, I would figure it out.
So Tristan, you get to see Jamie live in person for the first time as her coach. You see her like on an apparatus like this that she's not really ever touched. What are your thoughts? Is it just taking mental note of things that you guys can do to work on that? Or is it just confidence or just time?
I think with the flip sled in particular, it was just more finding a way this weekend for her to move it as efficiently as possible with the most consistency. But there is some takeaways in terms of practicing something like that, kind of getting that hip extension to get it up onto her shoulders. But also with an implement like that, like height and leverage and weight, like really play into how people move it. So I don't think the way she moved it today was inherently super inefficient for the best way she'll be able to move it eventually. It's just one of those things where it's a long apparatus and her levers aren't the longest. So her kind of doing that hand switch to get more leverage to push it up and then push it over is not the most inefficient way to go about it for her.
We have a question from Judy Reed. What other implement could you use to recreate that if you don't have a flip?
The easy answer is a tire, but the thing with a tire is they're not that tall. So it's, unless you get a really huge tire or you're somebody who's very, very, very short, it's not going to give you that same, like, getting it up overhead. I don't know. In a simple gym environment, it probably would get a similar stimulus as like a really heavy clean and jerk for somebody if they did pretty heavy clean and jerk singles. But it's just a little bit of like this odd combination of cleaning it up, getting it up overhead, and then having to drive it forward as you're walking forward, and then getting back set low. So it's its own unique little implement, I think.
Yeah. Or you could come visit me at CrossFit Polaris and flip the pig.
Or that. Yeah. I mean, if you have a pig, then you're good to go. So.
Yeah. We have one. It doesn't get used very often, but we have one.
I bet not.
Okay. So overall in the day, you end up finishing 6th in your division. With performance score, you have 83.32 points. You're only less than 2 points out of 5th. And 15 points, 20 points out of 4th. So do you have confidence tomorrow that you could make some moves? Or in all honesty, like, and if our audience watched the stream, like that Masters division was stacked. There are games athletes in that division. There are longtime regional athletes in that division. There are team athletes in that division. It was obvious that was a class of athletes, because when you'd get the next 4 heats of individual elites, like they were failing pegboards and they were failing flip sleds, and nobody did that in the Masters division.
Nope.
So it was, it's a master class. It literally a master's class. And Carolyn backs that up.
Yeah. Carolyn says there are scores from that division that would do very well in the elite division. The girl in 1st in Masters would be in 1st overall. Not just do very well, would be winning the entire thing.
Correct.
Yeah, it's crazy. And she actually, Brian talked to her at some point, and he said that she had stated she should have went elite. Like, she's actually regretting being in the Masters division.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually hoping, I talked to Tyler a little bit today, that they just do an overall leaderboard, since we're all doing the same workouts anyway. Like, because I don't know if there's a payout difference from elite to Masters, and if there is, like, I totally agree. She deserves to be slid over into that and win it. Like, if she wins. I mean, I don't know how she's going to finish out.
Right. And the assumption was on the stream that there is a different payout, but it was more of an assumption than some fact. So here's my question to you, right? And this is something that there was only 4 in each heat today. You have this performance-based scoring, which we talked about last night. Every second matters, and when you can't see people that you're close with to make up the little differences, it makes a big impact on the scoreboard. Right? Like, I'm not saying you'd beat Caroline Klutz in a race, but you could see Mackenzie Riley or you could see Holly Henderson and maybe be able to catch up some seconds because every second is a point.
Mhm.
Right? So how much do you think that impacted the way you performed today on the leaderboard? Do you think if you would have seen someone really, really close to you, you might have pushed a little more, or do you think you gave it everything you had?
I feel like I'm kind like, I don't know if somebody was closer to me. I was in like no man's land in that workout, and that does suck. I'm still trying to move hard because I am aware that there's another heat, but I think more so for them, they have a time. They know what to pace. It's not me, it's them. They're getting an advantage.
Huge. Performance scoring, if you're in the second or later heats with performance scoring, it's even more of an advantage than with a regular leaderboard. Like, because whether you know the time you need to beat, or if you know you're just padding time between the next best score, like, the more time you put between you and the next best score is beneficial. But at a certain point, you still don't have to like wax yourself, and you can just cruise it in with a 2-point lead on the last score, or a 2-minute lead on the last score, and you're just banking points. So if you're in later heats with performance scoring, I think it's even more of an advantage than a regular field or a regular scoring system.
Yeah, Carolyn Prevost said the P score is also tough in a small field.
It's
Yeah,
disastrous.
Because
I'm
you're gonna have
struggling
more
with this.
outliers, right?
So I'm struggling with this P score in general for the whole comp. You can't tell me that like 11 people got a 0, but like somebody may have done 4 flip sides and somebody may have done 2 or 3. You can't tell me that someone doesn't deserve like 12 points and someone 8, and like just giving 11 people 0 makes no sense to me. Z score makes perfect sense for me. P score, I'm not on board with it, especially for our masters with only 8 people.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the math behind it. Basically, what they're saying is, so what they're accounting for is outliers in the bad way, right? They become zeros because they're not relevant to the score. That is the theory. Let me finish. I see your wheels working, but they have not accounted for the outliers on the top end. And that's what's happening in your small field. You have an outlier that keeps taking first, and it's driving a bunch of zeros because she is so far above the mean, or she messes, whatever it is. She's so far above the mean that people can't compete.
I think we have less zeros in ours, but yeah, because she's so far ahead, it makes
That's
the other end. So we have less zeros, but I don't like looking at the overall leaderboard. I think I'd be mad if I had done more work than somebody and I got a 0.
Yeah. So let's go through the leaderboard. And then did you guys get to watch any of the other competition?
Yeah, we
I know
stayed
you
and watched a bit.
So in your division, we have Caroline Klutz in first, Hannah Oakley in second, Holly Henderson in third. And then, as we said, you're in sixth, but pretty close to fifth and fourth. And with this kind of scoring, one slip up, like if someone missed a pegboard, their P score went in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bill Lee, he failed his last pegboard twice, and he got like 8 points.
Yeah. So and then in Masters Men, Hudson Fricky is in first place.
Yeah.
Easy Muhammad is in second. Mark Hutchinson in third. And Kyle Ruth closely behind in fourth. And I like Kyle, so I'm going to mention his name. So yeah. And then let's go to the elites real quick. Elite female. Again, I was actually stunned how many people were failing pegboards in the elite division. Lydia Fish is in first place. She took a fourth and a second. What I got to tell you, what's really cool for me is we have interviewed so many of these athletes through the semifinal interviews in the last 2 years. Like I know so many more of these individuals than I thought I would, and so
Mhm.
my rooting interest is really crazy, and it made it fun to do the Heat One app. So much fun. I want to see what's so someone could finish the whole comp. Seema says, so someone could finish the whole comp and have all zeros and not get any points. That's demoralizing. That is a complete possibility.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So in that division, like I think the favorites going in were Chloe Wilson, Aaliyah Miller, and the surprises were that they were not. They are not the leaders after this. In fact, Aaliyah may have 0 points at this point of the competition.
Hmm. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No, she got 28 points on the last event, 29 points.
Oh.
So she is in 28th place. Who else? Callista Lang was a favorite of mine. She almost qualified for the games 2 years ago in the Atlas Games, and she's in 22nd place. And then Chloe's in 15th with a 10th and a 19th. Even Ashley Shoemaker, like she's been a semifinal athlete the last couple of years, and she's sitting in 14th.
I will say I didn't watch the elite ladies do the first event all through all the heats, but we watched almost all the heats of the second event. A lot of those ladies did not know what was going to happen to them on the fourth round of that workout.
Yeah.
They were cooking through rounds 1 and 2, and the end of the round 3 and round 4 hit them like a truck.
I agree. And you could see it on the flip sled. It just, the pauses became a lot longer. So how did that feel for you, Jamie, on the fourth round? You looked just as good on the fourth round as you did on the other 3. Did you pace it
Yeah,
right?
I think so. I don't know my splits.
I mean, you look strong throughout. That whole Masters field looked good. And I think that's what the shock was when you got to the elites, because then when they came in for that fourth round, it was almost like they hit a brick wall.
Think about these tests, though, and think about, because Jamie and I discussed this a little bit, because we were talking about the same thing before we left the venue earlier. Like, a lot of the ladies and the guys in the open division, like, they're very, very, very fit, but they've been to semis a couple times, maybe some other high level competitions, and then you've got these Masters fields, like, they've been to semis 5 times, or the games once or twice, or they've just been in the game for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Like, they're just so much more aware. They've probably done these kind of workouts before, tested games workouts for fun, done them at the games. And I think that's why you're seeing the Masters athletes just not have the slip ups in pacing, the fumbles on equipment like the pegboard, like figuring out how to manage a flip sled. Like, Jamie would have beaten a lot of women in the open division who are notably stronger than her, and this, that, and the other. But she has been doing this thing a long time. She understands, like, okay, I just have to grind through this movement, make up my ground here. I need to pace this run appropriately. And I think the Masters are putting on a clinic, at least today, on how to approach really, really hard workouts and pace them appropriately.
Yeah, I see that completely. And as you were talking, I thought like a lot of these people in the elite division are trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them went out balls on fire. And they paid for it in that last round.
Well, I mean, it's a consequence of the way JR has twisted these workouts. Like, that's something else Jamie and I were talking about. Like, if you hit that limit, if you redline or, just hit muscle failure or something like that in these workouts, it's over. Like, it's a wrap. Especially with, like, that flip sled workout. Like, the deadlift version from regionals, it's a heavy deadlift, and it's hard. But you can kind of figure out a deadlift when you're pretty jacked up. Like, that flip sled is going to eat up a lot more time and energy when you're redlined.
I don't know if you guys saw this in the men's elite. A guy got his shirt caught in the flip sled and went over with the sled.
Oh,
And then they started talking about how that happens frequently with a flip sled. And if you're not used to it, like, so did you notice that at all, Jamie, or did your technique not allow your shirt to get caught?
Luckily, it was bad. I actually, again, need this implement because my sports bra came up 3 times. And like I was Janet Jackson out there basically. Luckily the camera was not on me. Like Sousa caught a little bit. And when I went back and watched, I was like, oh God. Yeah, I was like, I like would finish and grab my top and like pull it down.
Wow. And those
But
are
I
things
also think that was
you're never going to know that unless you do that frequently, right?
right. Yeah, not good.
Yeah, Jason Hopper brought that up. They brought him on to do some commentating, and he said, yeah, it happens all the time. And most guys go shirtless when they do them because they just don't want it to catch.
yeah.
So my shirt was catching, so I took the shirt off after the second round, but then it was just my sports bra. And I was like, oh no, I don't know what's worse.
Oh my gosh. That is hilarious. So it's real. So Hopper was dead on with his analysis.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the day, our top 3 are Lydia Fish, Ariel Sanders, and she's someone, and I don't know if you got to see her much. She dominated event 1, and then she took 9th in event 2. I think if she would have been in a different heat, her P score goes way up on that second event because she was smooth, but she had almost a half a lap lead in her heat.
Yeah.
So at that point, you just don't know, right? You just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And she was in the second heat of 6.
Yep.
So I think that's where P score really needs some adjustment too, because these earlier heats have no clue, and you're at a much more bigger disadvantage than you are in normal scoring, even. And then Lindsay Lane is in 3rd, and she's a CrossFit Crash athlete. And do you think they have an advantage because these toys are in their gym and probably get programmed more than at other gyms?
Yes. Yeah. I follow CrossFit Crash on Instagram, and I look at the programming every day because I like what JR writes. They flip sled, they pegboard, they carry, they strongman, they handstand obstacle. So yeah, but I mean also,
Yeah, it's not the games. I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
But they do have a competitive advantage because they do get to use these toys that other people don't.
Yeah, I mean, the way he played with the workouts and such, like, it would be no different than if I was programming a competition. Like, I may not have specific toys that I like, but I write things a certain way, right? Like, yeah. I like to do these movement pairings. There's always going to be a little bit of that. It's not a big deal.
Okay. So, and then Allison Yin, who is one of my favorite people in the world. She's actually Alexis Raptis's training partner. She's in fifth. She looked phenomenal on that flip sled workout.
She did.
Veronica.
He said, "What's up, Veronica?"
And she won that pretty handily.
Yeah.
She looked really smooth. So, and then other people of note that we didn't mention was Hannah Black is in 9th currently. And she looked good on the sled and actually did much better on the run than I anticipated for her to do. She looked good in that workout, and I would not have pictured that being one of her strengths. But she ended up taking 9th, 6th in that event. So good on her.
Yeah.
And actually, she's going to be one of the athletes we follow next year. She's already agreed to do
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So I've been keeping an eye on her. And then on the men's side, it's been James Sprague Day so far. And that final heat, I know you guys were out to dinner for the flip sled, blistering pace.
We
Like
watched it.
the entire last heat was on fire, which was great for Max, which was great for Jack Rosema, and James Sprague, and yeah, they look great. So, the one thing I did want to mention on the men's side is everybody came in. This was William Leahy, Bill Leahy, whatever you want to call him. This was kind of his coming out party. Is he going to complete the weekend? Can we trust what he does? And I think he's been bashed so much in the last couple days leading up to this. Like I want him to succeed now. Like I want him to like prove the doubters wrong, and I want to see him do something. And then in that first workout, he falls almost the whole way off the wall. Insane. And the pressure that has to be on him at this point, because he knows he has to prove himself, was crazy. And he was trying to go touch and goes on those pegboards, and it cost him. But I will say this: in the second heat, in the second event, he was in the next to last heat. He gets overtaken by
Daniel
Kutz. Daniel Kutz. Yeah, his dad came on the air and said it's Kutz.
Oh.
Kutz. Yeah.
Okay.
My bad.
He was overtaken by Daniel Kutz, and there didn't seem to be a sense of urgency.
I told Jamie the same thing. I don't know. I'm a little bit partial. So one of my athletes is decent friends with Bill. I've talked to Bill a little bit. I have no desire to add to the talking crap train about Bill. I think Bill has a ton of potential. I would love to see Bill do very well, and I just think he's a young athlete and has ended up in the situation where people expect him to execute like a seasoned games athlete, and he's not. And I think people should just chill the fuck out, leave Bill alone a little bit, let him grow, and I think Bill has a ton of potential. But I think he's gonna stumble. Like he's got to learn. Like everybody's got to learn. Like you gotta, I tell this to athletes all the time, like to learn how to pace workouts and when you're gonna fit. Like you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. We try to do that in training as much as we can, but it's gonna happen in competition too. And I think because of everything that's happened, he's under a little bit of a microscope. But I think it's high time we just shut up and just let him learn, let him do his thing.
Well, before I shut up, I'm going to say one more thing. If I'm his coach and event 1, if you stumble because you were aggressive, I can handle that. Right? I can handle. You tried to go touch and go. You wanted to make a statement and you fell off the wall. I can deal with that 10 ways to Sunday. the lack of urgency on the last workout, I would have problems with.
Sure.
I think he was like redlined.
Sure.
I don't think it was personally.
And I mean,
And his coach will know that. But Mike, as a competitor, like, it was driving me nuts. The guy is passing you, and there's no effort to go faster. Like,
Sometimes you just know when you're beat.
I mean, I also don't know if that's like, I don't know how many of those conversations he's having. Like, I don't know. I'm not privy to who's in his corner, and
so yeah, and I know
those kind of things.
I'm really good friends with Rudy Berger and Corey Leonard, who are in the Southland camp with Brandon and Bill, and they all love him. Like, they all love Bill. They want him to succeed more than anything. And so, because they're my good friends, I trust their word. I don't know Bill from Adam. So today I was rooting for him, and I just didn't like what I saw in that last flip sled, and it just irked me.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, I can say that if he was my athlete, I would have wanted to see some more urgency. But I didn't talk to Bill after the, like, I don't know if he was, totally blown up or whatnot.
Yeah. So, yeah, the men's division, I thought that you've got people coming from the back heats there too, like Quentin McQueen came out of nowhere, put up a time that apparently beat Hopper's test time and Dallin Pepper's test time on that flip sled workout. And Hopper said that probably wasn't even, that would have been a workout that Hopper would have guessed he would have struggled on. So that was wild. So right now we have James in first. We have Quentin in second. Max Krieg, our guy from semis, in third. And Daniel Cooch in fourth. Coots. I mispronounced it. People of note, Austin Hatfield in sixth. Colton Mertens in eighth. Jack Rosema in ninth. Hal Fisher 11th, Mike Needleman 12th, Ty Jenkins in 14th, coming out of the teen division, holding his own, looked pretty good. Mike McDonald, I interviewed him 2 years ago in the semifinal series. He's in 15th. Marquand Jones in 17th, and then Bill Leahy in 20th. Yeah. The other person I was impressed with is Cade Myers. He looks undersized. He looks like he's not ready for prime time, but he's holding his own and he's putting forth the effort. And if I was his coach, I would love what's happening with him this weekend and just getting that experience.
Yeah. Agreed. He's definitely got heart out there. And he just, keeps fighting through every implement. It's a wonderful learning experience for him, I'm certain.
And then the big surprise on the bad end is Lionel Franco. We met him through the semifinal series. And then we interviewed him in Pasadena. Like, I think that guy has promise, but it's just not happening this weekend.
We'll see what happens tomorrow.
There's a lot of points on the table still, but
yeah,
could definitely say it's a slow start.
And it kind of goes to what you said, Jamie, where there's a lot of zeros on the men's side.
Yeah.
A lot. In that first event, it looks like 10, 11 zeros.
Yeah, I think it was like
and there's certainly some work separation there. Like, there's got to be points awarded for that.
And on the second event, there was only 3 zeros. So
that's just interesting.
Well, I think it's if you got stopped on the pegboard, your time you capped, and then you were getting a 0.
Yeah, which I guess I guess you don't want to get time capped on a workout because that is going to penalize you more. But I mean, when a workout's,
Well,
I don't know.
A lot of people got time capped in this second one.
That's what I'm saying. And James Frank did it in like 13 minutes flat or something ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
his
13.
margin of victory was astronomical.
so the
Yeah.
first zero was at 10:37 in a 14-minute cap.
Oh, from the first workout.
From the
He's
first
talking about the
workout.
second one.
Yeah, in the second workout, the
That's
zeros
why.
were 18:21 was the first zero, and then the rest were all cap.
Okay. I guess it's close-ish as a reflection of the two workouts.
Judy, I did not understand this scoring. I guess I assumed it was still basically Z-score. I don't know. I'm very taken aback by this scoring. I really hope he does. So far, I think he's just showed traditional game scoring versus the P score, but I hope he Z scores it too, so we can see the difference.
I'm sure if people start asking him, he will. Just to go back, Sestoval withdrew. I don't really know why. It happened a couple days before the event. We knew a couple nights ago that he withdrew.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought I heard that. Yeah, Carolyn, spot on. That's what I'm saying.
Carolyn says, I still think people with different scores should receive different points. Multiple people getting zeros isn't right.
Well, yeah. I mean, this P scoring is interesting because even so Jamie's second event, she beat a girl by like a couple seconds. And they both got like 83 points, but then Jamie got like 0.75 and the other girl got 0.39 or something. So it's like in a traditional 5-point scoring system, you'd at least get 5 points or something. Whereas you're basically the same whole number. Like I just don't.
So it was 49.04 for Haley Murillo and 49.36 for Jamie.
Yeah, it's like, is that? It's fine that the math works out that way, but is that useful? Is my question.
There was a point where two people like tied, but one sled hit before the other sled.
Kyle Ruth and
yeah, it was in the Masters Men, and they talked about it like, is it important enough to give like the half a second to the one person over the other just to get a few tenths of a point? And their contention was it was. Now, in a Masters field with a smaller field, is it going to matter? Maybe, maybe not. I think in a large field, it could matter.
Sure.
But I don't know. I mean, my statistician days are 20 years ago.
Never claimed to be a statistician over here.
Yeah. I actually worked as a statistician for 4 years of my life.
Nice.
Not the most enjoyable time of my life, but I did do it. Carolyn Prevost says, I would love to see P-score results of the games and see how the points shake up. So I think the problem with any kind of experimental thing, and they've talked about this even with Z-score, is if the athletes don't know it's in place and you like bag the end of the workout because you have a big lead, then it throws off what P-score would do. So any kind of like study of that is going to be off by some error rate, and probably a significant error rate.
Yeah. Well, even the scores like later in the competition, because you don't have the penalty of, checking one in for fifth right? Or like 6th, like at the games. Like, you know, we've
Right.
seen Matt, Tia, and like they hit the minimum work requirement. They know they've won the game, so they're just kind of cruising in. They don't have that penalty in that workout of like, no, you can get 5 points.
Yeah.
Even if you get 10th or something, right?
Yeah. So yeah, who knows? And Z score could go negative, right? I don't think P score can.
I think Z score can.
Right. Because that would have, like, if you look at the Roman situation, it would have deeply impacted the end of the games on the men's side.
Right.
But, yeah, we don't need to talk about math tonight. It's the weekend. So
Come on, Scott. I've been doing math all weekend.
so you have 2 workouts out of the way. You have technically 3 tomorrow, but 1 is a double event.
No.
So the way let me rephrase that. There are 2 events. 1 is a double scored event.
Not
Right?
tomorrow, no.
That's not the back-to-back?
That's
the final.
That's Sunday.
That's Sunday?
Yeah, that's the final.
I've been staring at a laptop way too long today. So okay, 2 events tomorrow, and remind us what they are.
Start with the handstand walk obstacle course, and then we do the thrusters.
And that is so the handstand walk course is ramp,
Mm-hmm.
hurdle,
Hurdle. Yep, 5.
hurdle, and then stair. And that has to,
Yes.
and each apparatus has to be unbroken.
Yes, 20-foot segments.
Okay. And then the thruster ladder is 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, increasing weights, starting at 135 for the women, ending at 185,
175.
175. And on the men's side, I think it starts at 185 and goes way up to like stupid.
265.
Yeah.
I think it's 265. But more men can handle the weight than the women, from what we've looked at. Carolyn, exactly. I actually, like, the more I look at this scoring, I feel like tomorrow's going to be a total shit show.
So over under on zeros in the elite divisions tomorrow.
I don't know, 10.
I bet 15 on each side.
I don't know. 15 would be, I feel like that'd be hard to get, kind of, with, because it's a field of, is there what, 38, 40? How many people are actually in?
30.
Oh, 30?
32 men.
Is it 32 men?
So your
30 women, 32.
Your median score is the 16th place person, right? And then,
I guess so.
yeah, I don't know.
I bet we see probably 12, maybe 10 zeros on the women's side from the thruster workout, and then probably like 8 on the men's side. Maybe 6. I think we'll see more on the women's side than the men's side.
It makes me not really even want to do them, if I'm being completely honest. Like, this is where Z score makes sense, because you want to like not get a negative. But if I'm just going to get a 0, what the frick am I even doing? I could beat somebody and still get a 0, and that's silly.
Yeah. It's weird because, like, if one person like just flies through the handstand obstacle,
Which is
then
going to happen.
going to be like a large gap from there to median.
Correct.
So then the zeros won't be much, right?
Correct.
So yeah, gosh, too much math.
I know.
I need to say congratulations to Kenneth DeLapp, 7 months being a member.
Nice.
People's Champ, excited for day 2.
Thanks.
And she has to crush it tomorrow because she has birthday superpower.
Yeah. We'll
Let's
be
go.
praying.
Birthday superpower is a PED.
Okay.
So
We're also going to eat more of the hotel's cookies tonight.
hotel has cookies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good.
Are you at like an Embassy Suites? No.
We're at a what are we at?
Marriott? Is it
Marriott.
I don't really know where I am. I got out of the airport. Jamie picked me up and drove me here. So
And I brought him a cookie when I picked him up.
she did. Praise the Lord, because I'm starving.
Awesome.
Hi, Holly.
All right. Yeah. And guys, Holly is crushing it. Leaderboards out on our Instagram, flying out as soon as they're available. Event postings, all the stuff. She's just completely on it.
Holly, make a full leaderboard of masters and individuals. We're all
Now you're
curious.
asking her to do math. She doesn't know the formula.
No, just straight up like list it. Like times, I guess. I don't know. You know.
She's been working her fingers to the bone all
I
day, and
know,
now
I
you're
know.
giving her another assignment.
She said okay.
I wonder if Tyler has a spreadsheet you could just pull the formula from. I bet he's got all that under lock and key.
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's probably proprietary information
Fair enough.
as they're trying to make this to be something.
Yeah. I think we're a ways.
I think I could crack the code to be able to do something at least close. If Holly can put the leaderboards in with the times and scores, I know the formula.
Yeah. Z score it for us, Scott. Let's go.
Now that formula, I don't know. I didn't pay it. I really, honest to God, didn't believe in Z-score when it first came out. So I just didn't even pay attention to what they were doing.
I like the idea of Z score.
I'm not even fully aware of the differences between Z and P score, to be honest.
Z-score has to do with standard deviations and then how many standard deviations you are from the median, I think, in that one. Where this is much simpler. It's you take the best score to the median score, you divide that by 50, and that tells you like how many points per second or per.
I see what you're saying.
How many seconds are a point, and then that's how you like.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. But it's been a long time since I've done standard deviations and then applied that to scoring, and I'd get no sleep tonight.
Not worth it.
No.
Well, it's been a fun day. All the comments are that Jamie looked strong. She looked good out there. You know, I've been documenting your career for 9 months now. I thought you looked as good as you've ever looked on the floor.
Well, that's saying something.
Absolutely.
So I was so proud of you and cheering from my laptop. I don't know if you heard me.
I felt it.
And I had major FOMO because I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you killed it today.
I'm going to try not to fall on my face tomorrow in the handstand walk.
You always surprise me. You always say, like, I don't know if I can, I don't know if, and then you do. And so I have faith that you are going to kill it.
I mean, she outperformed on both the workouts today and what she expected and wanted. So
And as Judy Reed says, you have tons of fans.
I still need to meet. There's a couple people that I still need to meet. But yes, I feel the love, Judy. You guys are wonderful. You guys all comment and make Savon talk about me. It's nice.
Well, Brian was talking about you being the MFC champ several times during the broadcast as well.
Yeah, because it's both Travis and I, Flanagan. And I actually would like to talk to him tomorrow. I want to try to flag him down. Because I feel like that's something we didn't really talk about. I feel like he's struggling a little bit here too. And one of the things I was telling Tristan was, for one, I don't have these implements, right? But also we spent the last several weeks prepping for MFC workouts while everyone else knew these workouts and was able to do something, whether they have the implement, but like focus on these workouts. And I had, 8 days? Like I came home from MFC kind of trashed, tried to do a couple little testers of this. Like, I feel like I'm somebody that can adapt fairly quickly, but like, I haven't had like any time to, and I don't have this stuff. So it's just really just throwing me into this. I kind of wonder if Travis is feeling like in the same boat. Like I just had to show up here and try these things.
Yeah, that dude is jacked, by the way.
Yeah.
His back are my goals.
jacked.
I want a back like that. He's impressive. But he really struggled on the pegboards. He's a big dude. That is a hell of an ask for 2 sticks. Man, the downward pressure on those sticks. Holy cow.
There's no better way to describe that. It's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, he seems to be in good spirits. But yeah, you guys trashed your body 2 weeks ago, and now you're back at it. So can't be easy.
Yeah.
But you were still crushing it out there. Like in that mega field, you are crushing it.
Thanks.
And I love that you smile to the camera when you finish every time.
I'm just trying to have fun. And these are new things for me. Trying to have fun.
Well, we'll let you guys get some sleep. When do you guys start tomorrow?
10, 25?
25, I think, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think teams are at 10, and I don't think they're starting this stream till 10. There's something else happening in the morning, but they're not covering it.
Yeah, it's like a community workout that I had originally tried to get Ronica and Tristan to do. But yeah, it's this weird like gauntlet type thing. It looks sweet. They are not interested.
It probably would be a lot of fun. But
Yeah. After being on a plane, yeah. Just want to move. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll be in touch tomorrow, and see if we can do another show tomorrow night, because it doesn't look like the over-under on Savon crankiness. I put it like 90 minutes tomorrow, because he was not doing an after show tonight.
he had a long day.
Yeah.
Sounds like they got Peter swapping in for him tomorrow, so he'll probably be better tomorrow.
Yeah. If Savon gives up the ship.
That's true. He might. He probably will. I don't know.
All right. Well, keep rocking that t-shirt. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Good luck, and
Thank
hang
you.
in there.
Thanks, guys.
And
Bye.
everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. I will see you guys in the chat tomorrow on the stream. Night, guys.
We about to change the game. We all